Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Warthog, U.S. Global Command 7.4. Alright, tech. Advanced Logistics, Advanced SLBM, SDI, Advanced Sonar. They finally completed Advanced Sonar. It is about time. Okay, so Advanced Logistics and Advanced Sonar are completed. All right, that makes a big difference in what the Americans are going to do here now. Okay, there isn't going to be any diplomacy. Discussions were had in the White House and Downing Street and the Chancellery in Bonn, and it was just decided right now trying to align Egypt would do more harm than good, because they literally would be forced to fight a two-front war, and they don't have the strength for it. So, same thing with Pakistan. There doesn't seem to be much point in trying to force them to fight a two-front war at this point. Although, I guess they could turn west, but they would have. Well, they could turn west. All right, we're going to change that. We will put the two free dice on Pakistan. Okay, there we go. Now we're nuclear request, because the Soviets hold Shiraz and Nigeria. The Americans get 2 dice for theater release. There's an 11. That will do the job. So the Americans are battlefield nuke and theater released against Soviet glory. Let's get a couple of roundels out here. Put them on the dashboard, and I thought again, while I was planning the Battle of Makkah, I completely forgot to use the American SR-71. Okay, so there's battlefield nuke and theater release. So the Americans have an attack bomber to place, a theater missile, and a B-1 bomber. All right, and actually those assets can be placed now. So we are going to place says any B-1 has to go at home. Okay. So we're going to place the attack bomber here at Makkah. We have another look over here. See, that has to be placed Okay, the B1, we'll just go there, that'll work. And there's the theater missile, all in place. Okay, that's that. So now we are on military aid and purchase. I'm going to spend 10 to send NATO an attack bomber in an SSN. I'm going to spend 8 to send, who is that? 8 to spend, 8 with arms sales to send Egypt 2 more next-gen MBTs. And then with -2 arms sales, spending 6 to send Israel 2 MBTs. And for themselves, the Americans are spending 6 battle stars on an airbase upgrade. Then they're spending, what is that? 28 in total on 2 mechs, 2 fighters, and 2 paramilitary. And then the free MBT from the loss of the Rhineland-Pomkis site. Okay, combat movement. This SSN from I3 goes 1, 2, up here to I8, or I11 actually, and it's going to fire, what in the world I got going on there? They can't do that. I looked at that wrong. It's going to fire 2 anti-ship missiles at the Soviet Navy there in I6. The Soviets have a cruiser and a frigate, so they will have 2 missile defense shots. Okay, then the B-52 from Diego Garcia takes off and flies over here to I3, where it launches a pair of cruise missiles, 1, 2 in a surgical strike into Sudan, where there will be missile defense from the SAM. Okay, then over here, finally, they have advanced sonar and can attack Soviet subs. So these 3 SSNs from A32, 1, 2 down here to A42. Where they're going on the attack. These 3 destroyers are coming down with them, and they will negate the first strike of 3 of these Soviet SSNs. And then the 2 SSNs from A37 are going 1, 2, 3 to come over there to join the attack as well. So, there's all that. Then, down here in A36, the amphib on this fleet card loads the 2 Marines from Nicaragua. And then they're going 1, 2, 3, the whole fleet over to here, where, let me get this out of my hands real quick, where they are going to invade northwest Spain to try and help NATO out, relieve some pressure on Extremadura. So, 2 Marines, attack chopper, fighter, attack bomber, and 2 ASFs. Are going in there for that attack. Actually, this frigate from A32 goes down there as well. He can't negate anybody's first strike, but he can take a shot at a submarine because there are 2 frigates with this fleet now to help provide missile defense here if needed. I don't think anybody... No, there's no port bonus from A36, so nobody else can make it over there. So there's the attack into northwest Spain. And then the 2 battleships here remaining are going to shoot their 4 Tomahawks into Portugal in a surgical strike. The cruiser here is going to shoot a cruise missile in there in surgical strike as well. And that is going to be the extent of combat movement. So as long as we're right here where all of the action is, let me get the auxiliary tray. And we'll just roll some dice right here locally. Less moving back and forth. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is the big old fight there in A42, just off the Cape Verde Islands. Okay, so these 3 Soviet SSNs have their first strike negated. These 2 get to have their first strike, and then the 5 American SSNs all get first strike. So we'll let the attacker go first. So here's 5 American SSNs. 1 hit. Wow. That one not very good shooting. Okay, they got 1. And then 2 Soviet SSNs get first strike. They missed. Okay, so 1 Soviet SSN is killed. Okay, now we have 3 destroyers. Got 1 hit. And a frigate missed. So 1 hit by a destroyer. Well, that's going to be taken on the Soviet SSN that is already fired. The other 3 decide they're going on silent running rather than duking it out with a larger force. They weren't able to shoot in first strike, so they're not going to shoot at all. Okay, so that is 2 naval battle stars for the Americans for killing 2 SSNs defending alone. So there we go. Now we'll shift this way and we will have the surgical strike into Portugal. Now there is a SAM there, so there will be 3 shots. Warsaw Pact is still at stage 3, so they don't get the full effect quite. Okay, the missile defense all missed. So now you've got 4 tomahawks. There are 3 hits. All targets select with PGM, of course. That's 3 hits. And then the cruise missile is a 4th hit. And actually, there was a 1 in there, so there was a target select as well. Okay, so the land target select, the Americans are going to put on the MBT, and then they have to take Warsaw Pact has to choose 3 more casualties. They don't like their choices. No, they can't take that. It has to be land units only. So I guess they're going to have to take the 3 light infantry. They really don't want to give up their SAM defense. Of course, their SAM defense isn't very good if they lose the zone. So what they're going to do is they're going to take 2 light infantry and the SAM. They will keep 1 light infantry. That suddenly pared them down pretty quick. All right, and now we will have the battle for northwest Spain. The field artillery there for Warsaw Pact will defend with chemical. And that will be the only first strike. So, chemical. Okay. They do get 1 hit, so that is chemical disruption on the 2 Marines. But they have close air support, so they'll still be attacking at 3 rather than 4. Okay, so we have 3 Marines for 2 hits. Wow. Way to go, disrupted Marines. They said, take that. We're going to hit you twice. All right, and then we have attack chopper. He misses. Okay, there's a fighter on air superiority. There's a 2, so that is an air hit on the attack chopper. And so I don't forget it. That is an air battle star for the Americans. Well, let's see, they took out 3+ land units in a surgical strike. Yep, so there's 2 more air battle stars for that. All right, that was the attack chopper. No, that was the fighter. Okay, now we have, well, they're going to shoot anyway, because they did start the round with a valid target. The 2 ASFs. Okay, there's another hit that gets applied as a general hit. And then the attack bomber. There is a 4th general hit. And 4 hits is how many is required, including on top of the air hit. Okay, so the Soviets are wiped out. They have 2 oh hell, I was looking. They never as many guys as I thought they did. attack chopper defends. He misses because he defends at 4. So, Warsaw Pact is all chopped up into little bitty pieces in northwest Spain. It has been liberated for NATO by the U.S. Marine Corps. And the U.S. Navy cut Warsaw Pact in Portugal right down to size. Yeah, those tomahawks fired from the battleships are, yeah, they're devastating. Okay, that looks like that's it for combat. So now we got to come over here and roll the diplomacy dice for Pakistan. No joy. All right, non-combat movement. B-52 flies back to Diego Garcia. There are 2 MBTs in UAE. Which are going to move into Eastern Saudi. Okay, there's that. Down here in Nicaragua, we're going to take the air cav and heavy airlift it into Macau. Then come over here to southern United States. The A-10 is going to airlift into Macau. We have 1 heavy airlift left, and since we're at stage 4 now, we have 3 airlifts and 1 heavy airlift left. So, these 3 airborne from the major airbase in Gulf states are going to airlift into they're going to airlift into Lazio. There they go. Oh yeah, since the Americans finished advanced airborne, all their base capacity, the airlift, sea lift, and heavy airlift get another 1 each. So, they have used 4 airlifts, they now have 1 left. And they still have 2 heavy airlifts left. So since that's the case, they're going to airlift this fighter from southern United States into UAE. Airlift him right in there. Heavy airlifts We've already used a heavy airlift in Macau. So we will heavy airlift this spag from there into UAE. One heavy airlift remaining. And, well, we can use it because our capacities at our bases go up as well, if I remember right. I believe they do. Oh, okay. Wait. The base's capacities go up one. So I don't get extra. Okay. Now I gotta make sure I've done right. I've done 2 heavy airlifts. That's all I can do. I've done my airlifts. Okay. Yeah, we're done with that stuff. Let's see. The strategic bomber in southern United States. What does he want to do? I think for right now, he just wants to fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's within his range. He's going to fly over here to southern England to that joint base. And this B1 is also going to fly to southern England to the joint base. And I think that may be it for non-combat. Actually, there's a combat left. I didn't roll the surgical strike in Sudan. 2 cruise missiles sitting right there. I tried to forget all about them. Okay, so Soviet AMD, no effect. 2 cruise missiles. There is 1 land target select that can be a reactive armor since it's a 1. So a cruise missile takes out a next-gen MBT. All right, I think that's it for non-combat movement. No, actually, these guys are going to go from I3 to I1. Now that's it for non-combat. All right, placing units. Two mechs and 2 fighters go here to Macau. As well as 1 paramilitary. The other paramilitary goes to Eastern Saudi. free MBT, of course, goes here in home country. Put him right there with the other guys waiting. The airbase upgrade goes here to Northeast United States. Then we have some aid to deliver. The NATO SSN is going right here at this minor shipyard in Extremadura. They're in A40. The attack bomber will go here in Paris. That's that. The route through the Med is still open, so two next-gen MBTs come in, one by the shipyard and one by the port. So they go here in Suez. And well, they don't have a separate port. Well, now that's just not very handy, is it? I bought 2 MBTs to send to Israel, but I can only land one of them because all they have is just, well, no, here, we'll do this. We land one at the minor shipyard in Israel. Then there's a defense treaty with Lebanon, so they are going to grant permission for the other one to land at their minor port and then go across the border into Israel. So that's how we get the 2 MBTs delivered in there. There we are. All right, now it's time to collect money. Let's see. Oh, wait. The Americans are owed a land battle star for liberating northwest Spain. There we go. And see, I think I already did the air superiority hit. I've got to do missiles too. 2 anti-ship missiles. So that will become a green. And then we put a missile on top of that. And then, what was it? 3 cruise missiles. I forgot to lay it out. 1, 2. Yeah, 3 cruise missiles. Okay, now we're going to collect some money. The Americans are at 52, and they don't get any adjustments right now, so 52. And there is a little bit of difference between 52 and 76. Okay, so there's that, and then there's six, 7 battle stars total. All right, let's have a look around again. I haven't done this for a turn or two. So let's see. These are the Soviet forces in northern Saudi. There's the American fleet in I-1. There is the Soviet fleet in I-6. The Soviet fleet in M11. There's the situation in the Middle East. It's not good, but it could be worse. There's the Soviets in Iran, southern Ukraine. Here's the situation in East Africa. And then sub-Saharan Africa, they just marched right across there. Here's how things look in South Africa. Those are the Soviet forces in Baghdad. There's the NATO fleet in the Med. There's the situation in Black Sea and Turkey, the Balkans, Italy. There's the Central Atlantic, or the Mid-Atlantic. The Iberian Peninsula. That's what the Americans have stateside, waiting for a path to get somewhere. Here's Western Europe, the quagmire that it has become for NATO. They literally are hanging on by a thread. Scandinavia has been dead quiet this game so far. And I think that about covers it. So let's go have a look at the charts. There's the tech chart. And the IPP. Let's move this up to turn 8. Battlefield nukes have not been used yet. And that's that. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.